Well, hello everyone, and welcome to our webinar, Device Management at Your Fingertips. Two housekeeping points before we get started. The session is being recorded, and you will receive a link over the next few days by email. Secondly, please submit your questions throughout the presentation in the Q&A section, and we will be addressing these towards the end of the webinar. Next slide, please. Companies of all sizes struggle to maintain visibility over their mobile and other devices. Decisions on the right number, type, and utilization of necessary devices are often difficult to make. So we will dive into that today and review why it's crucial but hard to maintain the visibility over not just mobile, but all devices in your fleet. Because if you do this right, you'll end up investing in the right number and type of devices. We will address your questions throughout the presentation, so enter these in the Q&A section. To show you how the Barcode's TrueView portal puts essential information on assets, tickets, and contracts at your fingertips, we couldn't ask for a better speaker than Don Mack. As Director, Platform Product Management for Barcode's group, Don leads our software development effort that allows customers to manage their deployed mobile assets more productively. Over the past 15 years, he has provided value to companies of all sizes by predicting their needs and guiding system development from concept to go live and beyond. Throughout his career, he has held leadership roles in sales, marketing, professional services, and operations. Thanks for joining us today, Don. Please take it away.
All right. Thank you, Edwin, for the introduction. So first thing is customer needs, or our customer needs collectively. The first is the asset management piece. A lot of our customers manage it the old-fashioned way, pen and paper or even using Excel. And when you do that, some of the insights that you capture, you're missing or lacking those insights. Secondly, capturing the ticket history, specifically for not just the fleet of assets, but also individually for both support and its repair history. And when you have that history, you're able to review it, ask fairly common questions to help you determine, is this the right asset for my user? Is it having more problems? Do I have enough? Those types of questions. And then lastly, the contracts, both support and repair. Are you using it? Do you have the ticket and the support history by the contract as well as the detail by the asset? And over time, it'll give you a really good idea on that utilization of those types of contracts. So with all that, that's basically why we developed TrueView, which we're going to demo here in a little bit. So TrueView is the visualization of Barcode's True Support services. So your provisioning and deployment, all of the support, help desk, the repairs, the analytics, the reporting, even MDM and design, including the management of the MDM, and then our lifecycle management for all the devices. When you put this all together, this can get fairly expensive for a company to handle on their own, both in terms of resources and knowledge. And Barcodes does have the team and the resources in place that we do this very, very quickly and very inexpensively when you look at it as a per device expense. Okay, next slide. So TrueView, this is a little screenshot of our TrueView. This is a report dashboard that you see on the tablet. But it provides essentially three main functions. One is asset and asset management, provides the repair and support ticket and that history and attaches that to the asset in both the fleet as well as the detail per unit. And then your OEM and support contracts, including when it starts, when it ends, the assets that are tied to those contracts, as well as the history to that as well. Those are the main core functions of the portal, and we're actually going to demo the portal for you today live. So what you see today is in production, and it works just like you're going to see today. Okay, so from there, I'm going to jump into the portal. And how you log in is you come to the Barcodes Inc. website. So it is part of our My Account experience, and we enable users to have visibility to TrueView, which displays up here in the top right when you log in. So My Account first, TrueView second, but it's a single sign-on login experience. So only one username and one password to remember. So we're going to start with TrueView. We're going to jump into assets first. And when this page loads, if you purchase your assets from Barcodes, and it's a serialized asset, meaning like a printer, mobile computer, scanner, and so on, we will report that into the portal. If you procure assets from elsewhere, we can have those imported as well, and you're welcome to use TrueView as your asset management system for all assets, regardless of where you purchase them. So a couple fundamentals about TrueView and the reporting. What you see on the screen is a typical report view. You have your search box, which is dynamic, and we're going to search for just a serial number. You start typing in, and it will return the results with each keystroke. This particular report with assets will work with the serial number and the asset tag ID. That's how it will return the result. All the reports, if you click on the serial number or any of the column headers, it will sort it A to Z, 0 to 9, that type of thing. And if it has a drop-down arrow, you can filter. In this case, we only have one location to filter, but you can filter the options like that. Additionally, we have a concept we call it My Views. And in the upper right here, you see I'm hovering over the IL-123. You're able to create any view that you want or report that you want, and it is unlimited. You can name them individually. We created this one here because we wanted to just see the assets by this location, IL-123. We have a default view. We load this. This is just our standard view, and this is going to load everything. It's not filtered for anything right now. This is where if you want to do some filtering, you can filter by the model number, by the manufacturer, and so on. Okay. So when we go back to the view that we created for this location, and we're going to go into the details of an asset to show you what kind of data we capture when we bring the asset into TrueView. Hovering over and clicking the serial number, just click that, and it brings up what we call an asset details page. And in this page, yeah, we'll put an image in here that we bring over from our website. If for whatever reason you don't like this image, if you hit this little icon right here, it'll open up, your Windows Explorer. You can grab an image, it'll save it there, and it'll save it there permanently. We will not overwrite it. So if you have an image that you like better, you're welcome to upload that image. In the details, here's the serial number. We also capture, again, if you purchase from Barcodes, we will put the SO number, and if it's under PO, we will put the PO number, and then other relevant data for this asset, including its item number, where it was assigned to, and then also where we shipped it to last, either from an order or from a repair. We'll have that in there. So you have two addresses or two locations to choose from. Additionally, if it is located, like we have an address, we will display it on a map. And then underneath that, or next, we have the ticket history. Here we only have one ticket for this asset, but it has all the ticket history. And then if it has a contract, we'll just load here in a second, it'll have its effective and expiration date. And we're going to cover tickets and contracts in more detail in a little bit, but it will cover that by the asset. And then lastly, this section called additional information. This is really designed for the customer. This is not information that Barcodes normally captures. And it's all optional. You can enter data in here or not. But example like an asset tag, which is fairly common. Here's locations and other locations to choose from. You can assign a user, cost code, reason code, device name. You can also assign, if you want to relate this to another asset, just start typing in here. Whoops. There we go. And you can choose an asset to assign it to relate the two, and you can report on that later on. Same thing with the rest, task name, task ID, IMEI, SIN number, and so on. So all these attributes, including the attributes that Barcodes captures, can be created in a report. And I'm going to run through the report here shortly. Okay, so we already have one created. You can either click this plus symbol to create a new report. And it's real simple. Just go ahead and add the name of it. We'll just call it webinar here for today. Hit the save button, add description, whatever you'd like it to be. And then from here, you have all the available attributes that we just went through in the different screens to go ahead and add. And it's a long list. So to help that, you can just start typing, okay, I want the serial number, and yeah, I want the assigned user while I'm here, model, and so on. And then you have these three available to choose from. Some of them have filter mechanisms. So if you click the filter button, we'll just choose the model. And I just want the EDA 61Ks, and I want to grab the 300s. And then in action, this is where if you'd like to, you don't want to come into TrueView, hey, just email me this report periodically. You have a list of people that are part of this account that we would set up. Choose one of them, choose the frequency how you'd like it, and hit apply changes. And it'll go through its saving process. And now we just created this new report. Real simple to use. We didn't have a lot of assigned users here for some of these assets, but you can see some of the names populating right here. That's just a simple creation of a report that we did right here. And how we do the default is next time you log in, it'll be the most recent report that you created will be the first one that will show up on the page when you log in. You just click the arrow, we can go navigate back to a different report that we created in the past. Okay, so real simple view of creating reports and my assets and then the details with the assets.
So could you touch again on quickly how you assign assets to locations plus add Costco's done? Because that's probably of interest to people, how they assign it to locations plus then assign a Costco.
Sure, I'm going to answer the Costco one first.
Okay.
You would go into the detail of the asset. So I'm just going to click on a serial number and go back to the detail. Hit additional information, and then here in the cost code, this is where we would just type, if we want a different cost code, like that, and then hit save. Okay.
And we're getting some feedback that your audio comes in and out. So I don't know if you can control that. So one question came in and might be interesting to address now. Would we have to set up the account on this new site? Will we get help on getting our account set up with this new site?
Yes, please work with your Barcodes representative and we will initiate the setup from there. We'll take care of that. All we really need to know is the contact, first name, last name, and email address. And we can get it set up. Okay. Second question, I think, Edwin, was the locations. So we have an admin panel, and we assign those based on user or customer preference, who has ability to create locations and who doesn't. So we create an admin panel for that. So if you click on locations, this is where we create them. And we also can assign the assets here as well. So we have a bunch of locations already created. It's very simple. Just hit add new location, create the identifier, description, add the address information. And then from there, we would open up a location. So I'm going to open up one that we were just in. And you have the option. Well, first you'll see the info with the map and the description, but then with the assets, how to assign, you have the option to either add by CSV, so an import, and all you need is your a column header with serial number, and then all the serial numbers underneath it. That's all you need in a CSV file. Or you can add them one by one here. So you just start typing, in a serial and go ahead and add asset. It'll add it to that location.
So a question came in if you can add custom fields on assets. That's possibly then also could show on reports.
We do not have the ability to add custom fields, but any of these, actually, it's something we do have in the roadmap right now for a customer to add custom fields and then label those fields how they like them. For now, if you're not going to use some of these fields, you're welcome to use them for that, to capture that data. But yeah, it's part of our roadmap, but it's not in production at this time. Okay. Edwin, do I need to go back to locations or move to the next?
No, I think we can go to my tickets if you're ready.
Okay. Okay, so the next function is my tickets, and all tickets are related to assets. The assets don't necessarily have to be in TrueView to create a ticket. Okay, I'll show you that shortly, how you can do that. But very similar report as you saw with my assets. And again, we have some views already created. And you see here, I'm just looking at the EDA61s, which is a mobile computing device from Honeywell. And these are all the tickets associated to that particular model, which is right here. And in here, you can see we were able to see all the different issue types associated to this particular model. And we're capturing the asset tag, ticket ID, and so on. Going to the default view, which is our standard view that we have with my tickets, I'm going to go into a ticket detail. And here we have a completed ticket, and we have a status pending receipt of asset. This means that the ticket's been created, our team has reviewed it, and we've sent out shipping instructions, RMA, shipping label, that type of thing. And we're now waiting for the return of that asset. So we have the status that says pending receipt of asset. In here, we capture all the information from the ticket. We're going to show the create ticket screen here shortly, and including the description, damage display, where we're going to ship it back to, and then the dialogue that first came in. This is the dialogue here at the bottom saying cracked screen needs to be replaced, configure the settings back for this location, part of our True Support services. And then here is the person, in this case, just sales demo, that created the ticket. And then the next piece of dialogue above it is from, well, it's from me, but pretend it's from one of our technicians. Please ship the device per the attached instructions, and packing list and shipping label are included. This ticket history stays, it's permanent and stays with this serial number. Okay, so you will always have this information. Edwin, I'm going to go back to the ticket screen, see if you have any questions. And if not, we can move to the create ticket form.
Yeah, one that is, so I noticing the ticket ID, but
yeah,
if a customer has their own internal system, can they assign their own ID as well?
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to jump into the create ticket form to show you that. And you can report on any of the attributes from that. So if I went just real quick, we're creating a view here, but you can see this customer reference number. You would just check that. This customer reference number you can use for like you have that incident management system like a Jira or a Zendesk. It creates its own number, and you want to tie our number together with your number. That's how you do it. And this is how you would report on it. How to create it in the ticket. Click the create ticket icon up at the top, where you have this button here in the report. And now we open up the form. This is how you would create a support or repair ticket. And this is our form. It's pretty simple, but I'm just going to run through a couple little unique things that we do. First part, step one, create ticket. We have two types, one's support, one's repair. The only difference in the form is if you click device repair, we have an address list that populates down here because we're going to be shipping it back, right? Also, we have two different teams, one that does support, one that does repair. There's different SLAs, and depending on which is checked, it gets routed to those teams. And we do recognize that support can turn into a repair. So the team will then, hey, look, this is the support, this product is broken, we need to get it fixed, they'll just route it to the team as part of the workflow. But in the form, real simple, you can put a title. We do recommend, if you may just want to keep it simple, example, for reporting purposes, but just say printer, that type of thing. Go ahead and choose one of the locations that we created in the locations tab earlier. And this is where you can put in your reference number. Contact name, email, and phone. This all defaults to the person or the user that's logged in. However, you can change it. So if you're creating a ticket, but you want someone else to receive the workflow and the communications going to and from, go ahead and change this information to a different person. And in the return shipping address, we bring these in from our backend system. You can always add a new, but if you just want to keep it simple, we just say, just start typing. Okay, first 3 characters will create a response in the dropdown for you to select. We do this is mainly for your part. If you're going to include accessories, in the shipment, just put yes and a couple fields populate here, and this just helps you keep track of what accessories you're shipping back with the product. So that's the beginning part of the form. The second part is when you select the asset. And here you have 2 options. One, you can select it that the serial number is in our database, that we already have it. You just start typing in the serial number like that. And then we populate it both with the serial number and the model to help you recognize which one to choose. Because yeah, there can be another serial number for a different model. That is possible. That's why we did that. Then you hit the little select button, populates with the manufacturer, model, and part number. Here you would choose the product type. The issue type, we have a tree here. This is all reportable. So we have things for you to select, and we'll just say here, just a damaged display. Here's the asset tag. If it has one, we'll go ahead and populate in there. And then just start typing away what's wrong. And we do recommend when you do these tickets is what you've tried to fix it. It helps our technical team understand the problem better and resolve it quicker. So you can say, cracked screen. Needs to be replaced. And then if we do have our true support services on this where we're configuring the device after it's repaired, go ahead and say configure, for, I'll just say location IL123 setting, something like that, just to give our team directions on what you would like to have done. They're not spelled. From there, you have your option. If it's just one, you can hit send, or if you have more than one asset that is broken, you can always add another one. And the nice thing about this, you can ship it in the same box. So we've had customers do this 30 and 40 times if they have that many devices that need to be repaired at once.
So Don, a quick time check here, about 5 minutes to go. One question came in. If you have 3 users for the same company, would you be able to see the tickets the other users put in?
Yes. Yes. So in the ticket screen, there is you would have to create a report or a view, and then go ahead and click this, create a by, and then hit apply changes, and that'll start showing in the report. Okay. Any other questions before I get into my contracts?
No, you just have 5 minutes. If you want to do that fast and go to the dashboard, that would be great.
Sure. So my contracts, same type of report, gives you a list of the contracts, including the effective and the expiration date. When you click on the contract detail, it will display all the assets, serial numbers associated to that contract right here, and then all of the tickets, both support and repair for that contract. This will give you that utilization piece that we talked about at the beginning of the call. And then the dashboard, this is your quick view. So it has 17 canned reports in here, and they range from your asset by type. We have some ticket information here and here. We also have some contract reports here. All these can be moved around. So if some of them are more important to you than others, just click, hold, and drag them up. And this will save the next time that you're logged in, and it's user dependent. So if you have more than one person on the TrueView account, this will save for person A, and person B can have their own. And then all these reports, you can view the details by clicking the view report, and it'll launch a page similar to what you've been seeing with the rest of our reports, just like this. All right, Edwin, that is all I have. Any other questions before we end today's session?
No, I mean, if you want to go back to the PowerPoint, then we can address a couple of questions that came in here.
Sure.
Very good. So thanks, Don, for sharing your insights. Earlier in the presentation, Don mentioned provisioning and deployment and that will be the topic of our November webinar. So please keep an eye out for the invitation, which will come to you by email over the next few weeks. And if you would like to explore how the TrueView portal provides visibility into your full asset base, please reach out to Don or any of the Barcodes Group entities listed on the screen. So we have just a couple minutes here for some questions. And the first one that came in is TrueView powered by an ERP software such as NetSuite or ServiceNow?
Yes. So TrueView is providing visibility to Barcodes NetSuite. That's what we use for ERP. To the processes, the case management, it'll have sales orders in my account and all the other information that you saw today. ServiceNow, we do have an integration to ServiceNow and to the incident management part of ServiceNow. Details of that, you're welcome to reach out to me directly. That is a new integration that we started about 30 days ago, and it's working very well. But you would create your incident or ticket in ServiceNow, and it integrates to TrueView, and then all the workflow will go back and forth into ServiceNow. Instead of logging into TrueView, you log into ServiceNow.
Another one, so when you showed my contracts, it shows OEM contracts and TrueView contracts. So question is, what's the basic difference between those, and would you benefit from having both?
Yeah, OEM contracts are contracts from the manufacturers for comprehensive repair. So like from Zebra, Honeywell, Panasonic, and others, you get a OEM contract and it's comprehensive. So if you drop it and break it, it will get fixed as part of that contract. True Support is a barcode service, both pre and post sales. So it includes staging, kitting, configuring, provisioning that device for deployment. It includes after deployment support. So questions, Wi-Fi settings, I can't connect to my Wi-Fi anymore, can you help? That type of question. As well as when a device goes in for repair at an OEM, that device almost always comes back to default settings. So it's shipped back to Barcodes, and we will reset that back to deployment settings. So when you finally get it, or the customer finally gets it, it's ready to be deployed, ready to go. So that's part of the True Support service. So there's a True Support contract and a OEM contract.
Great. And then the last one, we have a small number of devices. Is the TrueView portal helpful for smaller companies as well as larger companies?
Well, yeah, we designed it for all companies because we recognize that all customers kind of struggle with, that visibility to ticket history. It's a real simple fundamental, but just knowing what's going on with the support and the repair history of the device is important regardless if you're small or big. So we have customers that have, 5, 10 assets in the portal, and we have customers, well over 10,000 assets in the portal and everything else in between. Yeah. So it works well for both or all.
Great. Yeah. And with that, we've reached the bottom of the hour. Thanks a lot, Don, for, taking us through this insightful demonstration. And I appreciate the audience for attending today. Look forward to seeing you at another webinar. Bye-bye.